For the last 2 episodes, I have been working on my brand new villager setup, and honestly, progress is going a little slow. For the past 2 weeks, we have built a train to get from my base to this village. It works pretty well, and we have built a system to automatically generate bread. It starts at this farm, goes on to this extremely broken windmill at the moment, it turns it into flour, and that flour gets transported over to this bakery, which automatically turns it into bread. And since I finished this system, it has gotten a whole 4.5 stacks just about, which is a lot of bread. Why do I need bread for a villager setup? Well, villagers need to actually exist for my villager setup to happen, and currently I have 2 of them sitting in this hole for protection. And of course, 2 is enough to do a villager breeding setup, and that requires bread, and bread is in fact the best food source to feed villagers. So that's where we left off the last episode, just about to build a villager breeder. But the reason I left it out of that one wasn't actually because it's super complicated or anything. In fact, I've already built it, and I bet you didn't even notice. But it was because I had no idea where to put it. So far, I've just been placing down buildings kind of willy-nilly. I've built like 3 things so far, and there has been no planning behind it. But I now have actually planned out the whole rest of the village, which is mostly just going to be like over here, because villagers need a lot of space, and normally I would just make a villager trading hall that's like 100 blocks long. The villages are on either side. We got a capacity of 200 villagers, and that would be more than enough. In fact, I've never filled one that size, but I kind of don't want to do that, because so far I've been really kind of just prioritizing things being pretty over being functional, almost to a fault, but not quite. So I think I'm just going to keep doing that. So instead of making a super long, pretty ugly hall that I would probably have to bury underground because it's so big, I want to make a villager neighborhood. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That's probably not even going to be this episode, and probably will be the next one. If it's not, I don't know what I've got done wrong. But for now, villager breeder. Like I said, I've already built it, and if you have already noticed by now, good job. If not, it's this one, because it's actually really small. This is the entire mechanism. I mean, there's honestly a little bit of stuff underground, but not much, because villager breeders are super simple. The only 2 requirements for villagers to breed are willingness and available beds. Willingness is really easy. It's just whether or not they have food, and we spent the entire last episode getting bread, so I think we're good, and the beds are a little bit more complicated. Firstly, the 2 adult villagers need beds to sleep in at night, which they claim those 2. And then there needs to be unclaimed beds for the future baby villagers to jump on, and they think they can jump on these even though there's actually trapdoors on them, and the trapdoors are to keep the villagers from leaving because they're really dumb and don't know how to jump. So since this design, along with the automatic bread dispenser that's back here, meets all of those requirements, we should be good to go, except we're missing a couple key things. Firstly, there's no villagers here. That's kind of an issue, and also the bread isn't actually hooked up to the bakery yet, just because I didn't do that. So I need to do that, and I need to get villagers in here. Both of those are actually pretty simple tasks though, and I'm sure the villagers would never be annoying, because they're always perfect, right? That's how villagers work. Actually, yeah, everything kind of went off without a hitch. The villagers are in place, and we've even got the bread delivery line all the way over to the bakery, except there's 1 block missing, because I didn't want the bread to just be delivered already. So if we place in that brass funnel, it's going, and it's going to go over and hopefully get automatically dispensed to the villagers. Now, you can just barely see the bread, but it is working, and the villagers are picking up all of the bread, and once they accrue enough food, they should start throwing it at each other and begin the breeding process, and once they both have, I believe it's 6 in their inventory, they will produce a baby villager down here. Currently, that doesn't really go anywhere, so I suppose that is the next thing to fix. So that place is going to be this building just because it's close by, and I don't actually need much room to put the villagers. I just want to be able to go in and see them. So it's going to go there, but there's one thing I kind of have to do first, which is currently the output of this is baby villagers, as you can see. And if I have baby villagers going into the villager storage hut, that's going to be an issue, because that means baby villagers will end up in the rest of the system, and baby villagers break everything. I don't know how, but every single villager contraption I've ever made gets completely broken by a baby villager. I say I don't know how, but it's just because they're short. So before we get them to there, they need to go through a little bit of a system that I call an adult filter. So it's going to make it so that the baby villagers will go into a little temporary chamber down here, And then once they grow up, that will allow them to continue on into the storage unit so that only adult villagers will ever end up in the system and nothing will break. So let's go ahead and build that. There we go. It's done. Of course, it is fully underground, but the adult filter is all in place. We currently have one baby villager in there, and you'll notice he is being held in this little chamber. And once this one grows up, they grow up into this water, and then as an adult, they're now drowning, so they, swim out of the water and they swim up here and get pushed along and into the holding cell, which I also built. And I couldn't really think of a really great way to do this because it does need to still be underground so I can easily access the villagers in it. Because if it's above ground, then I have to build some structure around it so I can actually access like that corner. Essentially needs to have a minecart going next to it, which I haven't done yet because it wouldn't go anywhere. But all of the adult villagers will eventually end up here and you can go and look at them. I also, in creative, put 1 billion villagers in here, and you can actually fit like a ridiculous amount before entity cramming starts, which is pretty cool. But it's also good that if entity cramming does eventually happen, because I'll be in this area for a while, and I won't need every single villager that these two produce. And since the bread system is all automatic and stuff, it's great that this thing will kind of auto-regulate with entity cramming, because every single villager, even if this thing is full and the villagers in here are dying because there's too many of them, all of them will still end up there because of this bubble vader. So it's a system that shouldn't completely lag out my game no matter what, which is really important because there will be a lot of villagers in here. Now that we have villagers slowly accumulating inside of this little building, I mean, it'll take a while because they take forever to grow up, we can actually get working on where these villagers are eventually going to go, which is, of course, going to be the trading neighborhood that will be over here with all of them having different professions and stuff. But there's actually a stop before that that is extremely important. You see, the whole reason that I want villagers is they sell stuff, mostly enchanted books, because librarians can sell literally any enchantment except for like a couple like Swift Sneak and Soul Speed, which you have to get from wardens or piglins respectively. But every other enchantment they sell, and I want them. But the thing is, things are expensive, and while you can get infinite emeralds pretty easily, I don't really want to have to get infinite emeralds to buy like one sharpness 5 book that costs like a full stack of them. It's kind of just a pain. So we're going to make something that lowers their prices. And the way we're going to do that is by the completely humane process of killing them with a zombie and then healing them so they're grateful. And if you might ask, well, don't you kill them with the zombie? Well, technically, the zombie doesn't work for me. It's just killing them because it wants to. So, they're eternally grateful to you for saving them from that zombie. And this process works infinitely and drops their prices like a ridiculous amount. And in case that explanation was really bad, which I kind of think it was, let's go look at some designs. This is the design I'll be using, and I've gone ahead and built it up in a creative world because these things tend to be quite complicated, and this one is no exception. I've built a lot of these, but this one is definitely my favorite because it actually uses a bunch of the stuff in the crate mod, which makes a lot of the systems a lot simpler. It also just completely replaces some of the functionality, which is absolutely sick. But the way you use this thing is you start by pressing this button, and normally this would call it from the villager breeder, but this is just hooked up to some villager dispensers, which essentially does the same thing. The villager falls in and gets killed by that zombie. Then once the villager dies, it's detected by the system. The zombie is hidden away, so once the villager is healed, you can't just kill him again, and it makes the villager weak by dispensing some weakness potion from up there, and it gives the player a golden apple so you can start healing them. And now you have to wait about 5 minutes because that's how long it takes to heal a zombie villager. There we go, the villager is all healed up, and now we can give him a profession so we can actually see how well that worked. And let's say we want flame. It used to be 9 emeralds, and now it is all the way down to 1. But, I don't want flame. Let's say I want something a little bit more expensive, like another book, please. This process normally takes a while to get anything you actually want, but I'm just trying to get something that isn't reduced to 1 already to show it off a little, because Sweeping Edge, still 3 emeralds. That's far too expensive. So you go ahead, you lock in their profession. Now if you break the lectern, it doesn't go away. And now you can zombify them again without them losing that. So if we press this button, it releases the zombie once more, and the villager gets killed again, and we rinse and repeat the process until they're back healed again. Villager is healed once more, and the price has dropped to just 1 emerald, which means we can essentially do this for every single enchantment in the game. We can get a book max level for 1 emerald from a villager, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion, but that's exactly what I plan to do. And now we get to the part where we have to get the villager out of here, and the vanilla designs that I've made in previous worlds kind of fell short here. My most recent one sent the villager this way and just like opened the floor here, which required a block there. I mean, it could be carpet, but you get the point. It's a little weird. This one, because of the create mod, works flawlessly. You press this button to say you're done, and nothing happens. I don't know why nothing happened there, but something certainly should have happened. Okay, pretty sure I fixed the problem. It was just missing some glue, and now if we press this button, our villager gets ejected out the bottom and lands conveniently on this little rail. And then from there, you can send them to wherever you want. Probably a villager trading hall and not a pit of lava, but, you know, a pit of lava kind of works. And this system is great. So let's go build it in survival. And now the ever-present question of where am I gonna put this thing? Well, I think I actually already have a pretty good answer. Since my villager breeder and containment house are both right in a row here, why not just continue and put the zombification machine right here? I think that will work pretty well. There's only one problem, which is, well, the interior of the zombification machine is only as big as this house. The components behind it are significantly larger. So before I can put anything in here that is remotely the same size as that machine, I need to make this house a little bit bigger. But before I do that, I'm actually going to build the machine because I don't really know how big to make this house. I mean, I have a general idea, but if I have the actual components there, it'll make it super easy to make the house just the right size and not overly large, which will help it not look incredibly out of place. So let's go ahead and get that zombification machine in place. That's the machine done, and it has made this building considerably uglier. So let's go ahead and fix that. But first, kind of have an issue with how I've been building these buildings. I really love the style, just copying what's already in the village. But so far, I've been kind of taking that style and dumbing it down to just a much simpler block palette. This was the first building I made, and I took the oak logs and this kind of white terracotta thing from, where is a building that actually uses it? Like this one, for instance. And I've kind of been using that exact same thing for every build. I do it with the windmill, I did it with this, and I've done it with these houses. I mean, these ones have stripped logs, but it's still kind of the same thing. But a normal village actually has a lot more variation. They actually have houses like this, where it's cobblestone in there, or oak planks. God, I can't speak. So instead of just doing this exact same thing again, I'm going to change it up a little bit, do some cobblestone, maybe even some oak planks, and we'll see how it turns out. I think it should look pretty good, and it should definitely still fit the style of the village, because it is the style of the village. So let's go ahead and build a little house around this thing. So it ended up being like a whole lot larger than I meant to make it, but like, it kind of turned out all right, so I think it's fine. I went ahead and did cobblestone down here, still did the white terracotta up here, just because I feel like having cobblestone that high up wouldn't really look that good. But overall, I think the building turned out pretty good, and the reason it's so big is actually just for aesthetics. Originally, it was just this first layer, and these roofs just converged into the center, which does perfectly cover all of these mechanics, but it looked like really ugly like that. So I just add this in, and there's nothing in here, and I'm not going to put anything in here, but it exists, so that's cool. But realistically, the building is done, and now the interior of it is also in cobblestone, which I think does look a little bit worse, but honestly, it's fine. So this thing is now fully ready to go, except for a couple more things. The main thing is it's missing a zombie, and we're going to tackle that one first, because it just ended up being nighttime, and for me having not planned that went really well for timing. But the zombie's going to be a little annoying to get in. Normally I would just drop him in from the top, but there's some stuff above where the zombie goes. So instead, I'm going to try and do it from the side, because this side is kind of completely open. So I think what I'm going to do is we break this wall, and now all we have to do is find a zombie, get the zombie to chase after me, lure the zombie in here, zombie goes like this, we do that, walk out, put that back, and the zombie should go into this little chamber, I think, because I don't really know, and then hopefully I can like block him off. So that's the plan. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but I'm gonna go ahead and try. I found our first zombie candidate, and I say candidate because he needs to be able to hold this sword. Zombies kill things really slowly without a sword. They do like no damage, but if you give him a sword, it goes a lot faster. Sadly, this one can't hold one, and not all zombies can, so it might actually take a while to find one who is worthy of the mantle of slaughtering a billion villagers. So I'm going to look around for a bit and try and give this sword to any zombie I see, and we'll see if any of them pick it up. And if any of them do, then it's time to run, because a zombie with a sword is absolutely terrifying. It is officially daytime, and I have found a grand total of 2 zombies since the last 2 that I showed on camera, which is like baffling to me. I don't know. Zombies are supposed to be common, aren't they? But I guess I'm waiting until tomorrow night, because neither of those 2 zombies could pick up this sword. It's nighttime again, and we got a zombie. He has a sword, and I am now running for my life very slowly, because he's kind of just like menacingly walking towards me. But, you know, it's still terrifying. That sword does like 7 damage or something. So I just have to get him over that building, and hopefully it'll go off without a hitch, and he won't kill me. Although, yeah, we'll see about that second one. I'm not sure I'm gonna survive this. Okay, we're going into the house. And he's following me. He can't get past that. He thinks he can, but he can't. Where? No, you... Okay. Hey, I kind of thought this was going to be a problem. Zombies are really dumb. So he's just going to kind of like... Yeah, he's just leaving. I think that's going to be, honestly, the biggest problem is getting him to just, like, actually stay in here. So the idea is we do that... And then we open it. But the thing is, he's lost interest in me again. Get over here. Okay, I have an idea. We do that. Go, 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 go. No, that didn't work. Okay, that did not work. But the idea is if I can trap him in this little area, hopefully that will like work to keep him in place. Okay, nope. Okay, that's fine. He's trapped, and he has a sword, so he won't despawn because that's just how it like works. We're good. It's fine. We're back, and the zombie is, I assume, still in here. Yep, there he is. He apparently has lost his ability to hate me, but nope, we're good. Okay, now I just... Why? Okay, I got some trapdoors, and the theory is that the zombie is getting stuck, like, against this block and that trapdoor. But now, as you can see, you can't do that anymore. So, hopefully, if I lure the zombie up here again... He'll just kind of push against these trapdoors as soon as he jumps up, and then walk into here. We can like close that one. Should work great. So let's try it. He is right there. Oh my god. Okay. He's trying to jump because he thinks he can jump on the trapdoors. Oh, okay. Do you see me? Okay. The zombie might be too stupid for this to work. Because he's just bouncing. So, hey, what if I like... Okay. That had an observer behind it. Hope that didn't do anything. I didn't think that one had an observer. Yeah, no, I think the zombie... Oh. We got him. We got him. Okay. Duh. I cut out, like, almost all of that, but that took forever. Okay, we got a zombie in place. I'm gonna go ahead and put the blocks back around him. This thing is almost ready to go. I say almost ready to go and not like actually ready to go because this thing requires the villagers to actually work. That's kind of the whole point. So we have to actually get those guys in. And currently I have quite a few villagers that have built up in here, but that's not really the right place. So I need to make a little thing that goes in the ground here and up actually to the top of this in the back to these rails, which actually I don't think will be incredibly difficult. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and then I also have to hook up this button to actually get a villager from that building and bring him up there. So let's go do that. The rail line is in, as well as a little activation from the button up top, and it just goes around into a bubble vader and brings them over into the system. Now this thing should be fully functional. We just press this button and it should get a villager from there. I don't know if this is gonna work. It did. Okay, now we get to another problem that just always exists with these, which you'll notice villagers still very much alive. I've never really figured out a way to fix this problem, but essentially the zombie is mad at me right now. So if I just like leave for a second, we're gonna go look at the villager and free cam. Yeah, the zombie will kill him and it works just fine. And now we have to actually get back in there to pick up the golden apple and feed it to the now zombified villager. And he's healing, so let's wait a bit. there we go. Got the Zombie Doctor achievement, and he is all healed up. And most importantly, zombie hasn't been revealed, which means it's at least working somewhat. So let's go ahead and try both of these buttons. First, this one, obviously, because that one will eject him. But if we press this, it should reveal the zombie. And I think I'm going to have to go ahead, give them some alone time again. But then the zombie should eventually, yeah, there we go, kill the villager. And it dispensed another golden apple. And it made the zombie weak again. Also, I hadn't realized this before now, but I just went and like looked at the fluid tank holding the potion of weakness. It uses a 1,000th of a bucket every time, which when I tested this, it used like 1/10 of a bucket, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to like actually make some automated potion thing. I've made 3 potions, and I think I might literally never have to make potions, because 1,000 zombifications is like so many. But anyway, yeah, this guy's healing, so let's wait another 5 minutes. Nice, I'm running out of things to say for villagers healing, but should be all healed now, and just to make sure that it worked, I don't know why it wouldn't. Yeah, prices are way down, and of course this is the point at which I would actually like do this for a while to get beautiful things like Curse of Binding, because obviously I want that. But you know, something like Silk Touch, that's actually useful. I also already have it down in my villager that's stuck in that canyon. But now we can test this one, because the zombification system clearly works. Zombie is still hidden, and everything seems to not be broken, which is very good. Now, I haven't set up anything down here, and I have no idea where he's going to go. I think it's going to be this grass block. I think it goes like 1 to the left for some reason. So let's find out. Yep, okay. And I was exactly right. So I'll have to build a track here that goes somewhere. But for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.